Well, Melissa, how are we
Yeah.
doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of
So,
course.
fun fact, you're actually the first guest we've had on in a while because we're trying to bring it back. I've got producer Jackson back there, but before Jackson was here, it was it was very challenging.
Okay.
But
Thank you, Jax.
so, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
And
Happy Tuesday.
happy Tuesday. And for reference on this show, Melissa Pilon, been a client of ours for a while, client, friend, absolutely crushes it in real estate. She just does the damn thing. And so if we can extract any sort of magic as to what's working for you, that's
Okay.
the goal today. Why don't we just take it back to the beginning? Like, how did you start in real estate?
Well, before I was a realtor, I used to work for automotive advertising agencies.
Okay.
So back in Detroit, Michigan, I worked at McCann Erickson and Campbell Ewald and JWT and Y&R, and I did all automotive advertising. And my agency at the time pitched Mazda,
Mm,
and I somehow found myself involved in the pitch, and
okay.
we won the business.
Yes.
And the agency moved here. And so all
Yeah.
the executives were not leaving Michigan. I was married at the time, but I didn't own my home and I was fairly unattached. And I said, Melissa, you're moving
Yeah.
to Orange County.
Yep.
And so came here to help build the agency. My husband transferred his job to West Hollywood,
Got it.
which we had no idea how far away those two locations actually were at the time. But started working at the ad agency and had crazy agency hour jobs and on the 405, had a baby. Kind of was struggling with my time and
Yeah.
felt like I was on the freeway all the time. And
Yeah.
then a friend in a mommy and me class worked for a local real estate team and recruited me.
Yes.
I said, this girl's a hustler. We need a marketing person on our real estate team.
That sounds right.
So made a career change, took a pay cut to take this job at Keller Williams team in the area and was there, kind of the rest was history. So that was 2013.
And how long have you been doing real estate total? In 2013, that's when you made the transition?
2013 is when I made the change. I ended up getting my real estate license in 2015. And my role on the team was I did operations, I did marketing, I helped plan events, I helped get the listings prepped and ready.
Got it.
So they would, they were a machine. They did like 100 deals a year. So they would sign a listing, give it to me and say, okay, Melissa, go make it pretty. And then they'd go get another one.
Got
So
it. So
my whole role was like marketing the team, marketing the listings.
What did you do first with automotive marketing? What was your role there?
I started as a transaction coordinator.
Sure.
So I helped route local dealer newspaper ads and assign ski codes to the tagged commercials.
Okay.
Then became an account executive, account supervisor, and I was almost an account director when I left. And so really account management between the creatives and between the clients. And so making sure their wishes came true with our creative.
Did that translate well to working directly with?
Yeah, I think, especially with cars, it's probably the second largest purchase you make. So going from cars to homes was not too far of a departure. And I feel like working in real estate, you still had timelines, you still had clients, you still had budgets, you still had to make the logo bigger, all those same conversations. And so kind of taking my project management skills and my marketing background to really market the homes and the team.
Got it.
Is really where I started.
So when you were doing the homes and the team, you literally were so they would get the listing and then it'd be like, you make sure everything's ready.
Yep.
So
I would meet with the, contractor and the painter and the landscaper and the stager, and I would make sure everything happened in the right order. I'd write the marketing description, hire the photographer, do the video. And then once it went to escrow, it went to someone else.
Yeah.
But I had, anywhere from 7 to 10 listings at any given moment. And then we did a lot of events. We did a lot of marketing. And so kind of keeping the team marketing going so the listings kept coming was my role.
So you learned, okay, and did you self-taught on all that, or did they give you any sort of like, this is what we want you to do, go learn?
I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, I was new to real estate and learning everything from start to finish, but I always say I feel like I got an MBA in real estate from that job because real estate is an apprenticeship. It's like on the job experience. You can learn something in a book and that's just not actually how
It's
things work.
not how it plays
And
out.
so I feel like, from having the amount of business they had, I learned a lot.
Yes.
And so, but my project management, my marketing skills definitely was something the team gained from. And then the real estate experience is, what I gained from them.
No, that makes sense. So you kind of learned all those firsthand marketing. What's really cool is you learned it doing other people's listing. Maybe there's not as much pressure there, but in the freedom of learning it, do you feel like you got to see the power of what that does?
Oh, yeah.
Said differently, not having to be like, this is my marketing dollars going out, and having the fear there. You're just kind of like, cool, this is what you want me to do, I'm going to do it.
Yep. So I was on a salary and I got a bonus for every listing that closed. And so, obviously the better they did, the better I did. And so taking their marketing dollars, but they really gave me a lot of autonomy because their job was to go get more business and be the rainmakers.
Yep.
So it's interesting because I built a lot of relationship with those clients over the years, like in that role,
Yeah.
because when they thought of, the team, they saw me. And so as those people are transacting in the future, some of those people have come to me
Oh, wow.
because, I was the person that helped.
You did all the front work. Yeah, the front end work. You were the
Yeah.
face of that
Yeah.
transaction. That's wild. Okay, so that makes sense. Would you say that your marketing, because you're very good at marketing, and we'll get into what I see you do and then how you see that later. But would you say that your marketing, because you're very good at marketing, and we'll get into what I see you do and then how you see that later. But your do you love marketing? You like marketing? Is that kind of
I
the
love marketing. I feel like even as a young kid, my mother was actually a little concerned when I was 14. I became obsessed with Absolute vodka ads. Do you remember those ads where it was like Absolute Citron and Absolute this? Then
I like vaguely.
the magazine ads. And
Yeah.
so I would my whole wall was covers. I just thought it was so creative and so fun. My mom's like, why is my 14-year-old vodka
Oh,
all over?
that's so
But I just
funny.
loved the creativity of it and just the thought of what makes people make that buying decision.
Interesting.
Even at a young age, I was very into marketing. And so it was kind of a natural progression. That's what I wanted to do.
So you would cut out the magazine ads from Absolute, put them on the wall, and so you had this collage of Absolute marketing
All over my wall.
Your
I
mom's
had
like, what's
had
going on?
yeah.
But you were just studying. You're like,
Yeah, I
what?
just like how they took, some concept and applied it to the brand.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got a marketing degree from Miami University, and I did a really cool abroad program my senior year in London called Laws Hall and Associates. And
Wow.
so they took marketing majors, graphic design, communication,
Yep.
mixed us up and put us on 3 teams. And our client was Walker's Crisp, the British version of Frito-Lay.
Oh my gosh.
And so we did research in the tube, and
You did actual work for the brand?
Yeah, so it was a competition. So we had to create a campaign for this potato chip company. And
did they use the campaign?
Our team won, yeah.
So the actual brand in London.
I think they took the concept.
That's incredible. Because my study abroad situation was I learned Spanish and I didn't learn anything. I just partied in Spain for 3 months.
I mean, I had fun, but I always joked we might as well have been in Boise, Idaho, not London, because we did work a lot. But on the weekends, we were able to take
But that
trips.
sounds really fun, though. See, I wasn't focused like that. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, marketing's always been interesting to me. Flash forward having my own real estate business, I feel like I almost get too involved in the marketing because I love it, but that's probably not the highest and best use of my time. So I do have a marketing director. I hired Leah, who you've met, who's incredible.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's like my yin to my yang.
Yes.
And so
You're Jackson.
Yeah, we geek out on marketing, and the ideas are always looking to be better. And we're in the middle of a whole rebrand and the look and feel. And so I just love it. I could talk about it forever.
Yeah, I think so. No, I love that you love it, because marketing is one of those things in real estate where, I'm saying it delicately, it's needed, but most people don't want to do it, kind of thing. So the fact that you love doing it, and you even said you're maybe too involved in it, but it works for you because something you're doing is working, or all the things are. And one of the things that I found fascinating after working with you for over a year is you are doing all of these other things: buyer seminars, seller seminars, ice cream trucks for the community. Is that stuff you learned in those other jobs? It sounds like it, but Where do you get your inspiration for your events coming?
It's a good question. I think the other team that I worked on did teach me a lot. They did a lot of
Yeah.
those things as well. But I also discovered with myself that when I get in front of someone, I do very well. I tend to have a personality where I tend to win people over when I get in front of them. It's one thing to get, a postcard in the mail or get an email, and it's like, who's this girl? Why should we listen to her? So I try to think of ways I can get in front of either new people, open houses are
Yep.
things I
Yep.
love,
Yep.
doing events in the community are things I love, but also with my past clients.
Yeah.
I really like to love on them
Sure.
and give me a non salesy reason to reach out to them so they
Yeah.
think of me. So I feel like I really love giving experiences. So
Sure.
I just did a event where we did puppy yoga, and it was just something I always
Mhm.
wanted to do, and I thought that would be an awesome experience to give my clients as well. And it sold out immediately. All my past clients jumped on it, and it was pouring down rain, of course,
Yep.
and never rains in Southern California. And I'm like, people are going to cancel. And everyone came in the pouring rain, and we did puppy yoga, and it was so fun. And it was just like fun inviting people to it, explaining what it was,
Yeah.
and just seeing the surprise and delights of my clients and their children with the puppies crawling all over them. And it was just an experience that they maybe not would have done themselves that
Yeah.
Melissa Pilon Homes gave
Yeah.
to them.
So I've been saying your name wrong forever. Pilon.
It is Pilon.
I'm sorry. Pilon, Miss
It's
Pilon.
okay. You're not
Okay.
alone.
So nuggets, the nuggets I'm taking away from that is like you just look for any opportunity to get in front of people. Like any opportunity that you can put together, you do it because once you get there, it's pretty easy for you to talk to them, be like, "Hey, but if you need anything, I'm here." And then on top of that, it's just a fun way to stay in contact with your old clients. Hey, do this fun non-real estate related thing. Come hang out. Like I'm sponsoring it. That's it.
Yeah, and
Because puppy
every
yoga
time
is
I do
cool.
that, I definitely get 4 to 5 referrals every time.
Jeez.
So it's, I spend a lot of money on events. Probably the most elaborate thing is I did like a silent disco and acrobats and magicians and on the beach. And, it was kind of a crazy thing to even explain and invite people to. But, you know, it, it was almost like a wedding, I would say, the
Yeah.
caliber of like the event we did, from like
The
the sign in to the food to the drinks to the swag we gave. But like every time I do it, I get like 4 to 5 pieces of business. And so, plus it's fun. I
yeah.
love doing stuff like that.
Yeah, there's like a level of reciprocity there. That is really cool. Gosh, that's cool. So in-person events lead more. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense though. If you think about it from just like a how do I get people here and see them and have a good time, and then offering a non-real estate related thing. Yeah, that's really cool. Gosh, that makes sense. I'm like thinking about it for my own business now.
And I genuinely love my clients. I mean, you spend so much time with them and
Yeah.
then the transaction's over. It feels kind of weird and
What do we do now?
unnatural
How do we
to
hang out
like, I'm
now?
used to calling these person every day. So I love like catching up with them and seeing their kids grow. And I genuinely am appreciative of the business, and I want to reward the people who've worked with me by giving them these things. And so the byproduct are the referrals. So
No,
it's kind
that's
of a win-win-win-win-win.
when everybody wins.
Yeah.
And you get to play with puppies and have ice cream and
Yeah.
do all sorts of fun things. So that makes that's awesome.
Yeah, the ice cream truck, I did on my street
Yeah.
and invited literally my block. It was so cool. Like, my block is not the block that has like block parties. And even people that live 2 or 3 doors down came,
Yeah.
and they're like, I didn't even know that I had a realtor on my own street. It's like, you don't want to be a secret agent. And
Yeah.
so it was just, an inexpensive way for sure I'll buy you an ice cream
Yeah.
cone and get to know you a little bit. And
100%.
so now, like, since I did that, it's like you see more camaraderie on the street and other
Yep.
people getting to know each other. And so just to be, the person that made that happen was fun.
And so and also too, like one of the things that I hear frequently is like you miss out on deals because people don't know what you do. So like the example I give a lot is like, you never want to go to a family party and your cousin's like, oh, I just sold my home, and you're like, you do what? And you're just like,
The
how
worst.
how do people not know? But people don't know. You can't blame people for not knowing. So you just make sure that everybody knows who you are in that way, which is super, super clever.
And you never know what's going to resonate with people,
That's true. That is true.
whether it's the type of paper you're using on your postcard. There's a lot of
It's
people that are
brand.
very tactile, like how people see colors, how people, experience or how they hear your tone of voice.
Yeah.
I think you just try to be everywhere where
The
people.
marketing underscores of everything, and you think about it, which is really interesting. Content and business. So like a lot of, when I'm talking to agents or I'm trying to like work with someone new or whatever, they're just like, well, what is the ROI? Like, how does it work? And it's just one of those things where it's not like a one for one thing
Agreed.
in your experience, but it works for you. In your experience, how does it work for you?
That is such a good question. And I get that question all the time, even with the videos.
Yeah.
Melissa, I see you do these videos. Does that really translate to business?
Right.
And so I think it's a combination of like a bunch of things. And so you never know where people are going to find you. But even with the video content I've done, I think one of the unexpected byproducts is that my own sphere of influence, my own family,
Yeah.
the people in my life that already knew me, they already knew I sold real estate.
Yeah.
They already knew I had success. But seeing me talk about
Yep.
real life situations, they're seeing me now as the expert and the resource.
Right.
And maybe I was their friend that happened to sell real estate, and now I'm their real estate trusted advisor. And
Exactly.
these people are coming to me. Maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't have before, but I think it builds trust. And even new clients that I've met, and I maybe mention, oh, I have a video series.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen all your videos. I
Yeah.
watched it before I called you. I
Yep.
made sure I did my research. So it's funny. You never know where that business is going to come from.
Yeah.
And so it's one thing on top of another. That's like the tipping point.
One thing that I've noticed is that like agents who are already working hard and then add the videos, such as yourself, it tends to that's where things really happen. Like, why do you think the agent that's already working then starts doing videos actually has way more success than the agent who's like can make the videos, can look good, sound good, but like isn't doing it?
It could be the content, I think when I think of content creation, these are real life stories. So it's very easy for me to talk about it because it actually happened or something I really experienced.
Yeah.
And so I think having that real estate background and experience and stories to tell make your content that much more interesting than a newer agent that they don't have those stories.
Right.
They know philosophically how to talk about things.
Right.
But I think it's hard to hide behind, a pretty video where you have your makeup done and your hair's done and you're talking with a script. I think people can see through that. And so I think it's really the actual content that goes into it just really does make a difference.
I have noticed that you tell a lot of stories and it works for you in that way. And I think you had mentioned to me once that like you said it right now too, but like you had a referral and then you were like trying to get to know them and they're like, oh, we know you.
Yeah.
We know you very well.
Weird. People introduce themselves to me. Like, I think they've been watching my content. And so even I was at a realtor happy hour event and this agent was like, Melissa. And I was like, I'm pretty good with faces. And like, have we met?
Hi.
And she's like, but she's like, we must have met. But she's like, I feel like I know you because I watched your videos. So I was like, well, it's nice to meet you. And so it's interesting. Even other realtors that watch or maybe know me, but may not have known me because they've stumbled across my content.
Right. And that is the power. It's like, I like to say it's like many different touch points. It's like, there's the old like sayings that you need to be in front of someone so many times before they buy or whatever it is. But it's like you can do that so easy on social media. It's like you just do it again and again and you're constantly reminding people that you're there, which is, it's powerful. One of the things I noticed you do specifically, I mean, because we work together on the videos, but one thing I noticed you do that you're just so much better at, and it's like, it's so simple, but it's really not, is like if you make a video, you post it. Whereas I've seen people before who will mull over a video and be like, I don't know, like this, that, I'm not going to do this one. What's your mindset behind, or how do you get yourself to just like, okay, we made it, let's post it. Like that mindset, I feel like has worked very well for you.
I feel like trust me. There are times where I question, like that Ladies of the Night video.
Yeah.
I was like,
such
this
a good
could
video.
be a little controversial. I'm not sure how people are going to react. And it's really easy to get in your head and just, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I found, you know what? We did the video. We made the time and effort to think of the idea, record the idea, edit the idea, write the caption, just post it.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing that's going to happen. If anything, you get some controversial comments,
Which you kind of
which
want.
actually, yeah, it
Yeah.
actually sometimes those are good because it gets people paying attention. It's a little bit out of the box. But I think this philosophy, and I think I even did a video on this, that done is better than perfect.
Right.
And you can tweak, you could tweak, you could tweak, you could wait till this happens, you could wait till this happens, you could wait till you lose 10 pounds, you could wait till this success happens, this transaction's over, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to do it and
Right.
move on to something else.
Right.
And
No, 100%. I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, I do it all the time. Like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna put, but like, I do it too, and I know the like strategy. It's like a it's not a strategy. But it's like, how do you just get yourself to do it? Is there any tips or tricks that you're like, that video is coming up in the queue, like it's gonna get posted, and you're like, I'm just not gonna look at my phone for a day. Is there anything you do that is like actual, like this is how I do it? Does that question make sense?
yeah, I think I'm very a big planner. So Leah and I have this spreadsheet we use, and actually we haven't done it this week. It's a little like, what are we doing this week?
Sure.
So everything we're doing marketing wise, everything we're doing business wise, what's coming up in the pipeline. But marketing wise, we always make sure, we've been posting videos Mondays and Thursdays.
Sure.
And so which video is it going to be?
Yeah.
Strategically, what event do we have happening where this is going to tie into this?
Yep.
Or so just making the plan and working the plan and checking things off. I think everyone kind of
Sure.
feels that sense of accomplishment by
Yeah.
checking things off and just scheduling it and doing it.
But how about a video? Like, okay, so the ladies of the night video, for example.
Yep.
You're like, we're posting this Monday or Thursday.
Yep.
And it's coming, but you've
Yep.
been second guessing it all
Yep.
week, month, or whatever. Is there anything you do in those moments where you're like, you know what? Is it just like, you know what? It's going up. Or do you like, I'm not going to check my phone. Or you know what? Let me have a really busy day this day and I won't even think about it. Is there anything like that you do?
No, I think I just do it and don't think about it.
That's it.
And I do go back look at the comments. Of course, I get the notifications,
Yep.
and sometimes there are some, it's interesting. The videos that you don't think are going to get any reaction go viral and have crazy reactions.
Yeah.
I had one where I was like talking about how I negotiate repairs with an inspector, and all sorts of people had comments. Oh, I would never trust my realtor's inspector, and this happened to me, and this happened to me. And it's funny what gets people talking.
What gets people going?
Or things you think. I feel like the Ladies of the Night one actually was not a huge controversial event. I think people thought it was funny.
It is funny.
But I don't know. So
But
I think
the thing inside
that
of
you think is going to happen usually doesn't happen. It's usually more in your head.
Yeah. No, 100%. So you're in South Bay, and we just had all the fires happen, and the political landscape's been interesting. How are things playing out? I know it's a broad question, but how are things going?
That's a very good question. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. January for realtors was extremely chaotic.
Right.
Just tons of, I almost felt insensitive posting comment. I think we actually did pause posting videos because I didn't want to talk about this great, funny story when like everyone's lives were literally crumbling.
Right.
So I had events planned that I moved. I pivoted and did an event about insurance to try to bring value. It's like, what can you do to help?
Yeah.
Lots and lots of people who lost their homes were just looking for rentals.
Yeah.
And weirdly, all the Palisades people I found were flocking to Manhattan Beach.
Oh, wow.
It was like the next, I think, northernmost affluent city.
Yeah.
And, they all wanted to be together. So the clients who had kids that were in baseball, they wanted their baseball team to be together. And so I only want to be in this school district. It's funny, I even tried to show someone a home in Redondo Beach, which is Manhattan Beach adjacent.
Yeah.
And they said to me, Melissa, don't you know who I am? I can't live in Redondo Beach, which I thought was interesting. So they all wanted Manhattan Beach. Had never even been to Manhattan Beach before, but they all wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And I think they all got into short-term rentals, Airbnbs, furnished places.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were emotional. It was really hard. They lost everything.
Yeah.
And so now the dust has settled. And I think the reality is, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And there's some people that fully intend to rebuild. Yep. And they've had their insurance money paid out.
Yeah.
And they're starting the process. Yeah. And it may be 6 years, but that's what they're doing. I think a lot of families are realizing, do I want to be rebuilding a house for 6 years? Or even people whose homes didn't burn. if you're the only home standing, your library's gone, your school's gone, your coffee shop's gone, do you even want to be there when all
Yeah.
the smoke damage gets cleared out? So now we're seeing a lot of lots selling, even 2 million just for the land, this burnt to a crisp land. I think a lot of these people are saying, hey, Manhattan Beach is pretty great. My
Yeah.
kids are in the school.
Yep.
We're happy here. I don't want to be dealing with that. And so these people are buying and transacting, or maybe moving out of state, or maybe coming into more permanent rentals. I had a family I worked with where they had no desire to be in an unfurnished place. They didn't even have a bed, so they
Yeah.
only wanted a furnished place. Now they're in this furnished place. She's like, I really want to rebuild a home. Like, I want to buy my own bed. I want my own things.
Yeah.
So we found an unfurnished rental for her to,
Yeah.
find something. And maybe she'll buy in a year or so. There's still a lot of trauma there.
Right.
But I think we haven't really seen all the action that's going to be happening.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So, what do you think will happen? Because like a lot of people predicted what it would be like, and it seems like it didn't go anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But like, what do you think will happen
I
moving
think
forward?
there's still people regrouping, but I am seeing people buying and moving into unfurnished things and trying to like get some normalcy and permanent
Yeah.
status.
Yeah.
That's for lack of a better word.
No. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think there are people who are waiting to rebuild. But, even 6 years from now, you could buy a home and sell it 6 years from now for way more than you paid for it. And like, depending on your financial situation, I think there's going to be a lot of movement.
You do pause to be sensitive, but I've kind of like taken a different like stance on it because what happens during like tragedy is you have people who need help, and then people are who in a position to help. And I think we took some time off posting too. But the thing is if everything stops and all business stops, no one's going to be in a position to help. So you kind of have to keep going.
Right.
For a certain period of time. You can absolutely, and then like get back to it because I've noticed that if you don't have the means to help, you probably can't help. And if there's no one to help, then
Right.
what do you do?
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense. All of that's kind of happening now. What do you see? Because we were talking about buyers before we like did a little off camera. What's the number one thing you wish you could just tell your buying clients? What's the general thing you wish you could tell them?
I think a lot of buyers right now, and we were talking right before we started recording, is I think the biggest thing missing in today's market is urgency.
Yeah.
That buyers are just waiting for the right thing to tell them to make a move. And so interest rates are still fairly high compared to where they were.
Yeah, 2020.
But they're also a lot lower than they most recently were.
Yes.
They're now in the sixes.
Yeah.
We were up to 8%. So I think a lot of buyers are waiting for rates to drop, which were supposed to happen this year.
Yeah.
But then tariffs and all sorts of crazy things have happened. So I think when tariffs do come into play, rates will compensate and drop, but everything else will be more expensive. So I think the biggest point is you can't time the market.
Yeah.
But if you can find a property you can afford, you're likely to have less competition. When rates drop, you can always refinance that rate. And so I think, that's what everyone else is going to do. That old adage, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. And so I think, while everyone else is waiting, don't be afraid to make that move.
Yeah, 100%. Because like you hear it all the time, like you can't time the market. But in practical terms, it just means when interest rates go down, it's going to be really hard to buy something.
That's what everyone else is doing. So don't be afraid to go against the grain. And if you find something that works for you, that's a payment you can afford, know that's the worst it's going to be.
Yeah. You're never, in like 3 to 5 years, you're never going to be mad that you bought something. Maybe it's not your dream place, but like we're in California, you're not going to, for the most part, you're not going to have your dream place for immediately. And you're never going to be mad if you bought something like a 1-bedroom condo, for example. You're never going to be mad that you bought that in 2-3 years.
It's going to be worth more than you paid for it. And so,
and you're in a position to buy something like that you want to buy. That's the position I'm in now. Like we have a 3-story townhome, which isn't ideal for 2 kids, but we have something. And eventually we're going to use that to get the next thing.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
Those were like my set questions, but we can kind of let it fly. Anything on your mind in the real estate world you want to kind of
I think
through?
I just would love for buyers to know that it's okay to make a move, kind of going off. And there's a lot of creative options too. Like even in your 3-bedroom townhome, for example,
Yeah.
you can pull equity out
Hmm.
and buy first, sell later. There's a lot of ways that you can buy and sell at the same time where people just feel paralyzed. And I think don't wait for the media to tell you it's a good time to buy a house. Don't wait for rates to drop.
Right.
It's the right time when you're ready.
For someone who's ready to buy but not in the perfect position, like what's your favorite creative strategy?
I think there's a few things I've done lately where kind of taking a look at the stale listings, the
Oh,
listings that are, on the market for more than 30 days. A lot of buyers are waiting for those people to drop to a price that they can stomach.
yeah.
But why don't you come to those sellers and give them an offer, something that you feel like it's worth? Eventually they're going to drop.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to make an offer. No one wants to offend anyone.
Right.
But I think those, there are sellers that are raising their hands that are wanting to sell. And
Yeah.
I think buyers are just, it is a buy. If there's ever going to be a buyer's market, it's right now.
Right. And there are, you said something to get powerful there. There are like sellers who are looking for a lifeline.
Yep.
Give me something.
Yep.
Give me something I can seriously think about.
And a lot of sellers say, well, buyers, why don't they just make an offer? And it's like, well, buyers don't always think that way. And then they wait for the price to drop. And then all of a sudden you're in competition. You're bidding up for it again.
Yeah, because
So just,
you could have put that rate drop price in and just kind of gotten it going.
yeah, and there's a lot of creative ways where you can also do what we call a 2-1 buy down,
Yeah.
where you can ask the sellers to help buy down your interest rate. Instead of lowering the price, give the sellers what they're asking for, but ask for maybe a $10,000 or $20,000 credit
Yep.
that they can use to lower your interest rate. And even if it's temporarily,
Yeah.
and then when rates do drop, you can use the balance of that money to help you refi.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of creative things that you can do that I think people just aren't thinking of.
Yeah, no, 100%. Why do you think people are so concerned with offending, like not offending someone, but you don't want to give the wrong price because you don't want to offend someone? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think buyers always want to pay the least amount possible to get it done.
Yes.
And so they don't want to waste anyone's time. I think they want a house, they're maybe in love with it, but they don't want to pay that number.
Sure.
And so they're waiting for them to come to that realization to come to them. Whereas if they actually put pen to paper, it's one thing just to say, hey, would you take less? But if you actually give a contract where they can
Like a real offer.
yeah, I think it gives the seller something to react to. And not every seller. Some sellers are really stuck on a number, and that's why you're seeing more days on market.
Well, that's fine, but what do you think it is about the mentality of like, let's give this real offer that's maybe not what they wanted, but why do people not do that more?
I don't know. I wish I had the answer to that question.
Yeah.
But I feel like buyers just overall are just, well, what if something else comes out there? We're not in a rush. We're not desperate.
Back
We're
to the
fine. We have a
urgency.
place to live. If we find something that we like that we can afford, we'll do it.
Sure.
But I don't know. I wish more buyers were making more moves. And it's really refreshing now as a realtor to find a motivated buyer that's ready to transact,
Right.
whether they need to get out of that rental at a certain time point or they have to make a move before X, Y, or Z happen. But I think right now, everyone's just kind of waiting and seeing what's happened. And they're out there. If they find the right thing, they'll make a move.
Yeah.
But that can take a long time.
As an agent on this side, do you try to do your best job to be like, let's just write an offer in this range? Do you kind of try and...
Yeah, I usually try to you have nothing to lose by making an offer at a price that you'd be excited about.
Right.
The worst thing they can say is no.
Yeah. At least you're in the game.
But what if it works?
Yeah. At least you're in the game. I feel like it's like a momentum thing. You're like,
and I hear buyers all the time, Melissa, I don't want to waste your time. It's not a waste of time. It takes me less than 10 minutes to write an offer.
Yeah.
It's like worth it.
It's just you doing your job.
And if anything, if it doesn't work, then you have that experience. You know what to expect the next time and you're ready.
So what I hear you saying is more buyers need to work with you.
I would love for more buyers to work with me.
Yeah, you're gonna give it a go. So you have had a friend that you've not worked with refer you 12 times.
Yes.
What do you think that's about?
This one particular friend is an amazing person. And I met her through one of my college roommates. They played soccer together. And I was not her realtor. We knew each other. I was a friend of a friend. She moved to my area. and used an agent and had kind of a bad experience.
Mm.
But she started, we had connected, I think, on Facebook,
Yeah.
and she'd been watching my content. And when someone had asked her, "Hey, I want to move to Redondo, who's your realtor?" She's like, I don't actually recommend my realtor. It wasn't a great experience, but you should follow Melissa. And so connected us, and then they had a great experience. They bought and sold. And then as more people, she's just one of those kind of the glue that connects all these people together, and has referred me lots of people. I just had a referral. I'm in escrow right now from someone that was endorsed by her. So I'm very grateful, but that's just another testament to making content. You never know who's watching and listening. And even someone that I wasn't their realtor has believed in me. And now she's like, I wouldn't recommend anyone else, Melissa. So
Yeah. And it just goes hand in hand with doing a good job. People take notice.
yeah, success tends to lead to more success.
That's
So
right. That's right. Well, those are all the questions I have. And if you can believe it, it's been 40 minutes.
wow.
I know. It's crazy.
Well,
Well,
thank you. This is my very first podcast ever.
well,
So
it definitely won't be your last because you kick ass. You crush it. And it's been a pleasure working with you and having you on this podcast. And where can everyone find you?
you can follow me at Melissa Pilon Homes. I'm on all the social channels, and I have a website, melissapilonhomes.com.
If you're a buyer and you're looking for someone who's going to hustle and get something done for you, I think you just heard it here.
I would love to work with you.
All right.